For an ancient Indian king, manifesting absolute sovereignty required a year-long operation involving the selection, tracking, and eventual ritual suffocation of a white stallion. This was the Ashvamedha, a massive investment of state resources designed to project imperial power across the earth. Thousands of miles from the royal court, the ash-covered Aghori ascetic seeks the same level of mastery through the opposite extreme. By meditating in cremation grounds and eating from human skulls, they use transgressive acts to dissolve the ego and achieve spiritual liberation. These two traditions operate as sophisticated spiritual technologies. Whether through a state-funded sacrifice or a solitary meditation on death, both are literal mechanisms engineered to command the underlying mechanics of the universe. The evolution of Indian ritual follows a path of radical compression. Over 3 millennia, the sprawling, resource-intensive ceremonies of massive empires were systematically condensed and transferred from the physical landscape to the microscopic anatomy of the human body. To understand how the internal universe became the primary site of ritual, we have to look first at the massive external engines that once powered the Vedic state. In the Shrauta tradition, ritual was a collective effort of survival and state building. Ceremonies like the Vajapaya used chariot races and communal drinking to secure food and spiritual power for the entire tribe, serving as the primary engine for early political stability. The Vedic yajna, or sacrifice, functioned as a precise engine of cosmic physics. By feeding specific offerings into these tiered fire pits, priests maintained Rita, the mechanical order preventing the universe from collapsing. 4 distinct priesthoods managed every detail, using ritual ladles to execute a liturgy so complex a single error could disrupt the cosmic balance. The deepest layers of these rituals date back to the ruins of the Indus Valley. They began as simple agricultural rites, where the fertility of the earth was seen as identical to the fertility of a woman, a concept of natural magic intended to ensure the survival of a tribal community. As small tribes evolved into hierarchical states, the ruling class adapted these simple fertility rites into elite bureaucratic displays. They transformed collective agricultural magic into a tool for royal sovereignty, moving the focus from the people to the king. In this macrocosmic phase, spiritual power was inseparable from physical territory. To control the heavens, one had to control the resources, the priesthood, and the social hierarchy of a kingdom. A shift began when Upanishadic philosophers builded that if the body and cosmos share the same elements, the physical altar could map directly onto human biology. They began to view internal processes, like digestion or breath, as the true sacrificial fires. This internalization reached its peak in Tantra's left-hand path. Traditions centered around sites like the Kamakya temple abandoned the external royal altar, treating the physical body itself as the most sacred site in the universe, the place where cosmic power is most concentrated and accessible. Tantra uses taboos, like wine, meat, and ritualized sexual union, not as indulgences, but as high-voltage fuel for consciousness. These acts are engineered to shock the practitioner out of conventional social conditioning and capture raw cosmic energy. The goal is a specific physiological transformation. Using intense concentration and breath control, practitioners attempt to retain bindu, or vital fluid, and reverse its flow. Instead of letting energy dissipate, they drive it upward through internal channels to activate higher centers of the brain. This process relies on a reversal of social roles. During the rite, the woman becomes the primary operator, the physical representation of Adi Shakti, or primordial power. She directs the energy of the ritual, while the male practitioner serves as the medium for her power. By moving the ritual site inside the body, the mystic bypassed the need for a state or a king. However, this didn't eliminate hierarchy, it simply relocated it, making the lineage and the guidance of a guru the new essential gatekeepers to spiritual power. From tribal survival magic to royal spectacles, and finally to internal alchemy, the history of Indian ritual shows a persistent attempt to bridge the gap between the human and the divine through technology. This ancient mapping of human energy, the system of chakras and energy channels, eventually laid the groundwork for modern somatic practices. What began as a way to maintain the cosmos became a global system for regulating the human nervous system. These ritual archetypes eventually caught the attention of Carl Jung, who saw tantric visualization not as superstition, but as a sophisticated method for psychological integration, a way to engage the collective unconscious through symbolic action. These technologies remain a living practice. In Bhuta festivals, performers use rhythmic drumming and spirit possession to collapse the boundary between the individual and the deity, proving the enduring power of rituals using the body as a sacred vessel. The ultimate legacy of these ancient systems is the realization that spiritual liberation does not require a temple of brick or a kingdom of land. The most effective laboratory for exploring the mechanics of the universe